Now, as you can see from behind me there, boop, I'm supposed to be doing laundry, but man, it's too nice out. I was like, man, I'm gonna play guitar instead. So I'm gonna show you how I play the song XXL. Now, when the song first starts off, you have that guitar riff. You play that song, you play that riff, lick, whatever. Lick, it's not a lick, it's a riff. It's a thing. I don't know what it is, it's just an arpeggio there. A chord shape. You're gonna do that 12 times before the bass drum kicks in, oh my God. 4 times, then the vocal comes in. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's where the vocal comes in. And then on 12, actually on 13, that's where the bass guitar will come in. You'll still be going just like the Energizer Bunny. You keep going. So now, what are you doing, Mark, for that first part there? What I do is I take my third finger and I put it on the 3rd fret of the G string right there. Then I take my first finger and I bar it on the 1st fret of the B and high E strings. So, and then the picking there, just so you can see. Okay, so 12 times, the bass guitar comes in, doo-doo-doo-doo, and then when the chorus kicks in, the chords there, okay, now the chords there, because that's and then you go to the lead part there, but the chords that I'm playing there, and I should have said this in the beginning, but my guitar, that's my A string, I'm tuned in standard, so it's A440, whatever. So my chords there, I'm playing B flat, or for those of you rebels, it's an A sharp. Now it's just a power chord there, so my first finger is on the 1st fret of the A string, my 3rd finger is on the 3rd fret of the D string. Now when I make my power chords, really that's your 5th chord right there. But I take my pinky and I put it on the 3rd fret on the G string there, and it gives it that, just kind of fattens it out because you have the 5th and the higher octave instead of just. Okay, so I have that. Now we're gonna move that up a whole step to C. Now, sometimes I alternate on the first go around. I'm then gonna slide up to E flat, or again for you rebels, D sharp. And I have my first finger there on the 6th fret, and then my pinky on the 8th fret of the G string, and I use my first finger to mute the D string there, and I just hit that octave. Instead of the chord, so it's. And then I go to the G. So to make that G power chord, I have my first finger on the 3rd fret of the low E, my 3rd finger on the 5th fret of the A string, and then again, I use my pinky there, right behind it there on the 5th fret to just, again, fatten it out. So I have that G, D, up a half step. Now sometimes what I do, just to, again, to accentuate if I'm about to, just to add some dynamics, As I'm going, I add that. Now what I'm doing is, I believe that makes a suspended second chord. So I take my first finger and I bar it across the 6th fret there. I have that power chord there, so my 3rd finger is there on the 8th fret. My pinky is right behind it. But instead of just hitting the power chord there, remember this is barred, so I can hit, and it just kind of builds before I go to the G. So it's, and it just adds a little suspension to the build, and before you crash into that next chord. So those are the chords for the chorus. Now to that little, I add that in there just to make, humor myself. But that little lick there, I think it's all single notes when they play it, but sometimes I add 2 notes in there just to fatten it out. But the notes themselves, tonically, will be I think I went too soon on that one, but you get the, So what I'm doing there is I take my first finger on the 10th fret of the B string, and I just take my next finger, my second finger there, on the 11th fret. So, and then I take my 3rd finger and I skip the G string and I go to the D string at the 12th fret. And then I resolve there at the 10th fret on the G string. But sometimes I take that G string and the B string and I bar it there with my first finger. And I just make octaves there instead of, I add my pinky, so my pinky is there at the 13th fret on the B. Oops. Oops. Just kind of spice it up. Whatever you want to add in there, make it yours, Breakdown. I think my guitar's out of tune. Anyway, that's how I play that song. And if you dig it, man, I hope you do. Please subscribe.